Hello, hello, hello. This is the Vanilla JavaScript podcast. I'm Chris Ferdinandi. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, I'm talking about the power of coffee chats. Let's dig in. So, I get a lot of questions from students around things like how to figure out what you want to do next, how to know what skills are important for a specific role, or even how to find open roles. If you have a sense of what you're interested in, even vaguely, I always recommend reaching out to some actual people who do the job that you do and see if you can chat with them a bit. And I'm going to be honest, this is my number one career tip. I've used this to get pretty much every job I've ever had and figure out what I want to do next. It is literally the best thing I've ever done for my career. Now, in the pre-COVID days, when people weren't all remote, I would recommend saying something like, can I learn more about what you do over coffee? My treat. Today, I might instead ask, can I have a quick 15-minute video chat call with you just to learn a little bit more about what you do? Some people will definitely not respond, but I've never had anyone outright say no. And I've used some form of this question to chat with some of the big names in web development, people I looked up to, even the CTO at a $55 billion tech company where I used to work. It is such a fantastic way to learn what the day-to-day of a life in a role is actually like and what sort of skills you really need to be successful in it and the typical path that someone might take to get there. As a side benefit, if you decide that you might want to do that kind of work at some point, you now know someone who can tip you off to openings and introduce you to other people. So what kind of questions should you ask? Anything you might be interested in knowing, but here are a few to get you started. How did you end up doing this role or doing this kind of work? What does a typical day in the life look like for you? What kinds of skills or experiences does someone need to be successful in this role? And what industry changes do you see transforming the way this job is done? Honestly, these 4 questions could easily fill a 15 to 20 minute conversation, especially as you kind of respond to things that they've said or ask additional questions. People are going to say things that are going to result in some additional questions for you. I also recommend ending a conversation like that with, is there anyone else you think it might be good for me to talk to learn more? You want to keep this cycle going. Ideally, people will recommend 1 to 3 additional people you can talk to, and you're going to end up with this spider web network where the people you talk to network you with other people who network with you with other people. And eventually you'll have a huge network of folks. And this is a little uncomfortable at first, especially if you've never done it before, but it is surprisingly easy to do once you get the hang of it. People love to talk about themselves, especially since you're not asking anyone for a favor beyond just telling you a bit more about them. So what if you have no clue what you want to do next? If you have no clue at all, it's a little bit harder. The blessing and curse of the web industry is just how much it changes and how many options we have. So if you're in head scratching mode, you might want to jumpstart things with a bit of research. And a really easy way to do this is to pick a big conference that you find interesting, dig through the speaker list and look at the types of places where they work and the things that they do there. When you find a few that are interesting to you, do a bit of Googling to learn more about what they do. And if their work seems interesting, I'd strongly recommend reaching out and using the coffee conversation technique to have a chat with them. That's it for today. If you want to finally master JavaScript, head over to vanillajsguides.com to check out my pocket guides and video courses. And as a listener of the show, you can take 30% off with the code podcast at checkout. Also related to this, if you want to learn more about career stuff, head over to gomakethings.com/career-guide to grab a free copy of my web developer career guide. I will see you next time. Cheers.